My daughter called me crying from college yesterday. Here's the story. So last year was a horrible year. Her freshman year, she called crying almost every night. It was just really bad. And then this year's been really good. She switched campuses, everything's good. And she's 15 hours away at school. So, we definitely worry about her. So last night I get this text from her and she says, Mom, did you send me something? And I said, no, the only thing I've sent you recently is I got her a subscription to Dorm Drop, which is really cool, subscription series box for college students. And it hadn't arrived yet, and I knew that. So I said no. And so just like right away, she calls me back and she's like, Mom, crying. And I'm like, what's wrong, babe? What happened? And she's like, so do you remember the other day when I went to Chick-fil-A and I got mints? And I was like, yeah. And the reason that this was a big story was because she went to Chick-fil-A on campus with her bucks, like the dining bucks. And it was the day that AWS shut down. And so they were doing all the orders by hand and they lost her order and she waited for 45 minutes. It was a mess. So it was a reason I would remember. And she said, well, I got these mints and I was about to eat my last mint and I dropped it in the garbage can. And I'm like, okay. And she said, Wayne, this is her boyfriend. She's like, and Wayne, he sent me a whole bag of mints. And I was like, okay, that was really sweet of him, And she's like, I couldn't figure out what's going on. So I said, okay, what's going on? Is there more to the story? And she's like, he's so nice to me, Mom. He's so nice to me. And she's sobbing. And I'm like, yeah, babe, he is. Are you tired? And she's like, no. And I'm thinking, she's tired. If you have a redhead, you know that they get tired and they get crazy. And I was like, okay, are you stressed out? And she's like, no, Mom, he's just so good to me. He's so good to me. And I said, yeah, babe, he is really good too. So he didn't even remember. She had just told him that she dropped this mint and she was so bummed because it was her last mint. And he sent her a little bag of buttermints, like the Chick-fil-A mints. So I know that I've gotten a lot of calls from her that were SOS and she was crying and I was worried, but these are the kind of crying calls that every mom wants to get from their college student.